When's the last time you walked into a room sure that everybody in it was looking at you? Sure they clocked the stain on your shirt, or the thing you said wrong, or the fact that you showed up 5 minutes late. I'll bet it wasn't that long ago. And I'll bet, if you're honest, that feeling has talked you out of a few things over the years. Here's the part that took me a long time to figure out. They weren't looking, not the way you thought. This has figured something out. I'm Dave. I fix air conditioners over in Kingfisher, and today I'm working through a fear that holds a lot of good people back, and how freeing it is once you see it for what it is. I go into a lot of homes, and there's a thing that happens at the front door more often than you'd guess. A homeowner meets me and starts apologizing before I've even set my bag down. Sorry about the mess. Sorry the utility room's a disaster. Sorry I meant to clean up before you got here. Real embarrassed about it, sometimes flat out flustered. And every time, I think the same thing. I'm not here to look at your house. I'm here to look at your furnace. I didn't notice the dishes. I didn't notice the laundry on the couch. What I noticed is your blower motor's running hot. That mess they were sweating over, I never even clocked it. Then I caught myself doing the same exact thing, just backwards. I spilled coffee down my shirt one morning before a call, and I spent the whole drive over there sure the customer was going to peg me for a slob. They never said a word. They never even saw it. I was the only one who knew, and I was the only one carrying it the whole way there. That's what got me chewing on this one. Turns out there's a name for it. They call it the spotlight effect. It's just this: we badly overestimate how much other people notice us. Our looks, our mistakes, our screw-ups. We feel like there's a spotlight on us, like we're up on a stage, but most of the time, the audience is barely looking up from their own laps. There's a study on this I love, because it's simple and a little bit funny. A team of psychologists, headed up by a fellow named Thomas Gilovich, ran it at Cornell about 25 years back. They took a college kid and had him put on a t-shirt that was, let's just say, embarrassing. Loud, dorky, a singer most kids that age would rather die than be seen in. Then they sent that kid into a room full of other students. Afterward, they asked him, how many people in there do you figure noticed that shirt and could tell me who was on it? The kid guessed about half. Half the room, he was sure, had clocked his embarrassing shirt. Then they went and asked the people who were actually in the room. The real number was less than a quarter. Most of them never even registered it. They were busy thinking about their own stuff, their own shirt, their own bad day, their own worries. And the reason it works that way is pretty plain once you lay it out. You're the center of your own world. You live behind your own eyes every second of every day. So your mistakes and your bad moments feel huge because they fill up your whole screen. But everybody else has their own screen, and you're just a little window off in the corner of it, if you're on it at all. We figure people see us the way we see ourselves. They don't. They're too busy being the star of their own show. Once you get the spotlight effect in your head, you start seeing what it costs people. I've had folks put off calling me for a service visit because they were embarrassed about the shape their house was in. Let a little problem grow into a big one just because they didn't want a stranger seeing the place. That's the spotlight effect, costing somebody real money and a dead unit in July, all over a worry that lived nowhere but inside their own head. Let me say this plain. Nobody in my trade worth a dime is judging your housekeeping. We have seen it all. We are looking at the equipment, call when something's wrong. The mess is not on the list of things I care about. It runs the other direction too, and this part helped me. When I messed something up on a job, my first instinct used to be that the customer was going to remember it forever. Tell the neighbors, leave a bad review, brand me for good. The truth is, most people barely hang on to it, especially if you own it and you fix it. The mistake is enormous in my head and a footnote in theirs. That doesn't mean you quit caring about your work. You don't. But you quit letting the fear of being judged freeze you up, because that spotlight you feel is mostly your own. And there's a bigger lesson sitting in here, one I wish I'd learned at 25 instead of 55. A whole lot of people never try things, never speak up, never show up because they're scared of looking foolish in front of a crowd that it turns out isn't even watching. The kid too embarrassed to ask a question in class. The fella who won't pick up a new trade because he doesn't want to look green in front of the crew. They're all standing under a spotlight that nobody else can even see. The room isn't looking. The room never was. Everybody in it is too busy worrying about their own shirt. So here's what I figured out. The spotlight you feel on you is almost always a lot brighter in your own head than it is in the real world. People are not watching as hard as you think. They are not judging as hard as you fear. They are mostly thinking about themselves, same as you are. So clean the house if it makes you feel good, but don't let a messy room cost you a working air conditioner. Fix your mistake and then let it go, because the other person already has. And go on and try the thing you've been scared to try. Because that crowd you're so worried about, they're barely looking up. This has figured something out. I'm Dave Hartzell. Thanks for riding along with me. Call 405-375-4822 or book at hartzellsheetair.com.